MW Smith here. So check this out, right? A while back, there was a lady here on YouTube by whose name was Two Crows. She left me a link and told me to check out the names of the four Mohawk Kings. Okay, and that's what I've been working on, along with trying to make sure I have the rights to use this image for a T-shirt here. But I've been just spending probably about the last 2 weeks reading about these men, um, because the stories kind of change depending on who I read after. Because three of them were Mohawks from New York, from one version, and the other one was from a tribe in Michigan, whose name cannot pronounce, but it's clearly spelled like Michigan. It's the name of this man. I was checking out their names, just reading about what they did, their voyage to England to speak to the Queen. Of course, some questions arose when I was reading about it. Especially when I'm reading about what they requested of the Queen, because they never tell you what they had to do for her. They just tell you what they asked her for, such as they asked that she would send missionaries to New York because a lot of their members of their tribes were adopting the French Catholicism by the Jesuits that was being brought there. And they weren't too happy about that. And I thought it was weird that you would ask for missionaries from England to be sent to your tribes, first off. Because if anything, you would think you would seek people within your own tribes to help you uh, reestablish your religious practices and customs and stuff like that. Not go to Christianity and say, "Hey, help us practice our own customs." That's like me going to a Buddhist and saying, "Hey, I want to practice whatever Hinduism or whatever it is, Buddhism." I get the names, well, whatever. I want to practice it amongst my people, even though you know clearly I don't need to practice that right now. I want to get my own historical customs and practices back, whatever they may be, and then practice them with my people. So I don't know, the whole thing of asking missionaries from England to come and help, suggests to me that definition of Native Americans from the 1828 Webster's Dictionary is correct when it said that Native Americans used to be, here copper colored and all this other stuff, but now, they are the people from Europe that come here, and they're allowed to be called Natives Americans. That they really are people that came over here and now portray to be, play off the part of us being us. I was talking to Arthur Scott Jr. about that the other day because there was that one famous actor. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but there was that one famous actor, and he kept saying, he's Native American, Native American, and his sister sold him out. She said, no, we're Italians and we were born in Sicily, but it's just that easy for them to pull it off because they look so much alike. It reminded me of Lex Will a while back. Explained to me that there's people from Turkey that can come to certain tribes here in the United States and automatically have tribal citizenship um, within those tribes. And I just thought that was so bizarre. How can they just do that? Like, why? Why would you even make an agreement with them if you guys aren't even related? But then again, the more you dig, the more you find out they actually are related to one another. Like the Senecas. Once Lex brought that to me, I started noticing the Senecas. They go up to Rochester, New York, to celebrate their Turkish, what's it called, the Turkish Heritage Day. And they get all dressed up in their outfits and stuff like that, and they go up there and they do their dances in the middle of the streets and stuff. So I just thought that was completely connecting the dots, that 1828 definition of Native Americans to what they're doing now, and to these back to these Mohawk Kings. Um, you know, I was reading about that, and then I also was reading about their names translated, because she told me to check out the names, and I'm going through them one at a time right now. Right now, I'm on the one whose name translated into Hendrick. Um, Hendrick, I'm sorry. And I'm trying to get to the etymology of the name, and of course they're going to give me European definitions that it comes from. What was it? Shoot, it was the Dutch, and there was another one. I want to say it was German, but it was either Dutch or the German. They say it's it comes from the Dutch and German, but I'm like, that doesn't make sense of the etymology. I'm trying to get to the root. Who came up with this name first? So I'm just looking at different websites for, different um, definitions, and their what they claim the etymology is, which also led me to finding out that while I was looking into that Hendrick, I thought about looking up Indians who were named Hendrix besides this Mohawk King here, and which led me to Jimi Hendrix and his brother, and I read that they are Cherokee. Now get that, they're Cherokee, and they were all out in Washington State. Up until this point, my only knowledge of Cherokee Indians, of course, my little knowledge of Cherokee Indians was from what I was always taught from the one I grew up with, because I was adopted. My adopted father is Cherokee, and I'm 20 something percent, whatever. And so we went to the reservation up in Raleigh, North Carolina, and of course they had the casino and all that stuff up there. But um, I knew about them being there, knew about being in South Carolina, parts of Georgia and Tennessee, and then of course they always tell you about their Trail of Tears, and they ended up in Oklahoma, but they never tell you that they were out in Washington and California, Oregon, anything like that. But Jimi Hendrix um, is Cherokee. Now they claim he was just part Cherokee, whatever. But if you notice something, look at his hair. Jimi Hendrix's hair is awfully straight, even on his worst days. His hair is awfully straight. I thought that was really interesting when I started looking at just his features. Um, you know, it just reminds me of the images I do see of some of these people. Um, and it reminded me of a book. I came across the book. It's called The Songs of the Earth. In The Songs of the Earth, um, the chief, what was his name? I can't think of his name. It's gonna kick me. I can't think of the chief's names right now, but they have a chief of a tribe that was out there who they quoted as saying, we are black, we bleed red if you cut us, but we're black. You do not understand us when we speak. We do not understand you when you speak. And this was before the whole "Black is Beautiful" movement, when they took this quote from this king. But of course, he could have been saying anything. He could have been saying, we're Cherokee. We could have been saying, that we're Choctaw. We could have been saying anything. They just translated it as, we're black, and let's leave it at that. You know, or other meanings of black. So I have a lot to go through. I have a lot of other stuff piling up. Suggestions for things to look into. Like, for instance, someone told me to look into this map that actually has the Atlantic Ocean, um, the Mississippi. I'm sorry, being the Mississippi being called the Atlantic Ocean, and Indians being caught up here in New York State, and the higher states. What was that over there? The other one was. Um, Shoot, I can see it in my head, but I can't. I can't say it. What is? Let's see. New York State and New Hampshire, New York State, New Hampshire, the New England states. But there was one specifically I wanted to mention. But they were being caught and sent down to the south to work down there. These Indians were, but they were being sent down the Mississippi River, which they called the Atlantic Ocean. So I thought that was pretty interesting that this map would even have that on there, if it is the case. So I have a lot. Um, yeah. So if you get a chance, check out Jimi Hendrix and his Native American roots, and read about the four Mohawk Kings. And I want to say thank you, special thank you to Two Crows, because being honest, I'm taking this bit by bit, piece by piece, because I got a feeling I'm supposed to find something here when it comes to these people, and these kings. Which already led me to finding out that there are so-called Native Americans, because all the images they show are the long hair, stringy red man. Um, the ones that replaced us. There was Indians here in um, Massachusetts, and Connecticut that called themselves pharaohs. Their last names passed down from one chief to another were pharaohs instead of chiefs. I know I just said chiefs, but but that's what they were calling themselves. It was passed down from one to another. That it was, so and so pharaoh, Danny whatever pharaoh. So I got a lot of links. I'm gonna leave them all in the description box. Go through them when you can. Take this stuff, correct me where I'm wrong, and make videos. Just pointing that stuff out. So to everyone out there, thank you. Have a good day.